guys, thanks for stopping by my channel. I wanted to show you guys how I am making some of my own DIY covers for my Erin Condren. I love the idea of making certain things yourself. Of course, you can always order, other covers from Erin Condren, the website, or you could even find ones that people make on Etsy. You can actually print stuff on your own. I have a couple of images that I want, but I'm going to take them to probably like FedEx or Staples or somewhere and have them print it on cardstock for me. And then I may or may not laminate it myself. But what I was going to show you, this is actually a couple of pieces I bought from Home Goods. The packet is actually a thing for if you want to do frames on your wall. And it's got these really gorgeous different foiled kind of metallic, cute little sayings, kind of girly things. This was a pack of 12, and it was $6 at Home Goods. I thought these were super, super pretty, and I wanted to show you how I'm going to make some for myself. So the first thing you're going to need if you want to do self-laminating covers, the best recommendation is to get you a thermal laminator. I have a Scotch thermal laminator here. And this is the box that it comes in. This is actually $20 right now at Target. So this is what your box looks like. Sorry, it's kind of close. It's hard to keep the camera from like being really crammed in together right now. But they're a pretty good deal. To me, Target is the absolute best place to buy them. They're even like $38 and up on even Amazon. And so this is the best deal that I have found for it. It has two types of heat, 3 milliliters and 5 milliliters. That just means how thick you're going to have it. And so I bought some thermal sheets. Again, you can pick the 3 milliliter or the 5 milliliter. I like to do 5 milliliter for my covers because it's going to make it a little bit thicker. This is the packet that is going to come in. Here it actually says thickness 5 milliliter. If you pick up a pack and it doesn't say this here, or even kind of down here at the bottom, it's just going to be your standard 3. That's going to come in handy if you want to do like your own like little to-do list. Like I like to take some of those little memo pads and laminate those little note pieces, like the little, just take a page out of it and laminate it and have like an insert. So that'll be good for 3 milliliters, but you definitely want to do a 5 milliliter if you're going to be doing a cover. So the next thing that I've done is I've taken one of my covers, or one of my sheets out, and I also had to cut to fit this cover because the sheets that I showed you are 8.5 by 11, just a standard like size piece of paper. But of course, if you have an Erin Condren, it's going to be a little bit smaller. So I literally just took one of my back covers and just kind of traced the sizing and cut it. You could use a paper cutter to be more precise, but I just went ahead and kind of cut it by hand. So it may not be 100% perfect, but I don't mind that so much. So I inserted it between the two. It's connected and sealed down here at the bottom, so you want to slide it in. And I actually just did one to make kind of a backside for it. You don't have to do that. You can just do the one side. It'll just be plain on the other side. But you want to insert it, tuck it down here as far as you can go. And that's the end that you're going to want to insert first. So I'm going to load it into the tray in the back. And it'll automatically start grabbing it itself, and it'll start feeding it through there. And sorry it's a little bright because, I don't really have the greatest lighting or anything, so I just have the sunlight behind it. But I wanted to show you what it's going to do coming through. And it came out a little bit crooked, but it's not the end of the world. Because as long as your cover looks good, that's really all that's going to matter. And this is going to be rather warm. It's not scorching hot. It's, warm enough to the touch, but it's not so hot you can't touch it. But you want to let it feed on through to come out the end. And sometimes if it has bubbles, or maybe if it's a little not quite what you expected, you can always run it through another time or 3, however many you feel comfortable with. But I think this one's going to be good for just doing it the one time. So as you can see, it's actually kind of more shiny. And it's just got these really cool, like, just kind of a shine to it. I love this foil. It's kind of hard to tell before, but now that it's in here, it's real shiny. And it just looks really good. And so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to want to cut the excess stuff that's going to be on the side, but you want to make sure to leave you some over here so you can make your clips to insert it into your planner. So this is one that I've already cut down. You can see I've done the 3 sides. I've cut them to fit on the sides, but I've left me a little bit of a gap, and I just used my planner to kind of do kind of my own measuring to see just how much room to leave. I mean, you could do it any way you want to do, but this is the best way to kind of get an idea, just to make sure you don't cut that off, because unless you want to cut into your paper, that's gonna, you know, that's the only way you're gonna be able to insert it to make your own hole punch to put into your planner. Now the next step you're going to want to do is take a cover that you already have from Erin Condren, and you're going to want to lay it on top of your cover that you've recently made, and you want to put the holes over the excess piece for when you clip it into your binder. You're going to punch these holes, but you want to know exactly how far to space them. So most people recommend using a wet erase marker, because that way if you smear it onto here, it's not the, you know, you'll be able to wipe that off. I'm actually just using like a Sharpie permanent marker or the fine tip, because I don't sit there and do the entire thing, and it's small enough that I have better control. So for me, that's not going to be much of a problem at all. So I'm just going to lay this over, line it up on top of there, and I'm just going to take my pen and do enough of the little dotting so I can tell where I'm going to be punching my holes at. And so just to kind of show you, this is what it's going to look like. You're making your little dots. You're going to want to punch those out. You're going to need a 1/8 hole punch to punch this. This is the exact size you're going to need to do for an Erin Condren. So you're going to want to line it up with there, and you can kind of, because this is actually see-through, it's going to make it a lot easier to punch. And so you're just going to insert that, and you can actually line it up over your holes, and you're going to punch it. Just like that. You're going to punch it all the way down. I don't necessarily care if I have a little bit of ink left. It doesn't really bother me. You can even just take like a wet wipe or something, or even just like lick your fingers, and it's going to come right off. It's pretty simple to do. So it's kind of hard to see right there, but you can see my little holes right there. And the next thing you're going to want to do is take a pair of scissors, and all you're going to simply do is you're just going to cut a tiny little slit that's going to go into each of the little holes. And that's going to be how you're going to be able to insert it into your binder, or your, you know, your planner. But yeah, so this is all you do. You just cut little slits, and that way you're going to be able to insert it into the planner. And to show you what a finalized one is going to look like, this is one that I actually made earlier, and I thought it came out awesome. This was actually the very first one I made, so it was actually a little bit of a boo-boo. This was still an entire sheet of white, but when I ran it through, I actually had to swap out my laminator because the first one I had wouldn't work on the 5 milliliter, so I swapped it out. It's working flawlessly and great. So because it messed up and tore at the bottom, I just cut it a little smaller, and I just put it over a piece of yellow cardstock and did it that way. So this is what the finished product kind of looks like. As you can see, I have it clipped into the binder just as I would. I actually have one of my regular covers behind it right now, because this one, because of me doing the two pieces, is a little thick, so it's kind of wanting to not lay 100% flat, but that's just because I made it super thick having this in the middle, and it's kind of making these bow up. But I would think if I lay something heavy on it, or actually even keep it strapped down for a long enough time, it may, you know, kind of sort itself out. The pressure is going to make it want to lay flat. So that's only because I've got this middle piece. As you can see, these are not really doing that. These are actually laying pretty flat right here. But yeah, and that's all you do, same way you would do your Erin Condren. Of course, it's a little thinner than what you actually have for Erin Condren, but it still holds in pretty good as long as you don't do anything super aggressive with it. It's going to hold, and that is what it looks like with the finalized of all the holes punched on the side. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I'll put the link below to find the sheets and the laminator. I'll do it for Amazon, but again, look at it for it at Target because it is so much cheaper on there. So I hope you guys have a great day, and thanks for stopping by. Bye.